Welcome to NPCs for Hire, where we try to give you ideas for NPCs to use in your campaigns. Today I want to take a little deviation and do a review of a book, a source book that I am very fond of. I got the PDF version of it and would like to do a little talk about that today and give you some ideas. Of course, as I'm going to use the NPCs for Hire format and also show you some ideas I have for running some of the individuals in the book as NPCs. But before we begin, a disclaimer. I am making this video because I want to. I am not being paid or given anything by anyone. Well, except that this was actually given to me as a birthday gift from my lovely and adoring wife. At least I think she likes me. But the case is that it was a gift to me as a birthday gift and not any kind of payment for doing anything. So I'm, again, doing this because I want to. I think I've restated all this. You get the point. I'm just doing it. The book I would like to talk about today comes from MCDM's Productions and some guy named Matthew Colville, or, I'm sure he's helped out somewhere in the whole production of things. Anyway, the point is, the name of the book is Flea Mortals! Okay. The name of the book is just called Flea Mortals. I added the muhahaha. It just felt right. This book, or PDF version, which I have of the book, is an amazing addition to your collection. If you're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e or any 5e compatible games, I'm sure that the monsters here are completely, they fit into that. They come from their own world. I think it's called the Spiral or something like that, which I have yet to learn more about, but it has everything in the book has enough content to give you everything you need just to run them in any game. Not only are there regular monsters galore in the book, they've added a whole bunch of other monsters, but they've also added companion monsters. So say your party member says, I always wanted a pet basilisk. And you can now go, I've got one right here in the books. Look at him. Isn't he cute? Oh, sorry. That was the full adult version. I hope you all made your saving throws. They also have retainer creatures too, like ones you could hire for jobs. So say you look up Minotaur and you've got all these versions of Minotaur, and then there's a Minotaur retainer. So perhaps, one day you finished building a maze. You're like, what do I put in the maze? Let me see. I've got it. A cow.
It's Minotaur. Say Minotaur.
A Minotaur. As I mentioned, the book has many versions of all the monsters, which is really cool. I know a lot of monster manuals and bestiaries do this, but I feel like they feel different in this book. And maybe it's just the excitement of having it, but they feel like they play differently. Speaking of which, the monsters also have labels or titles. So you could have one that's like Solo, Leader, Brute, Skirmisher, even Minion. It's an old titling system that came from 4th edition that I actually liked. And Matt and the team have put it all in the book again. So now you kind of know when you're looking at a certain gnoll or a certain Minotaur again, you know that either a Brute or they're meant to be a ranged attack. It helps you fit it into your plans when you're creating an encounter. Yes, they also brought back minions, as I mentioned, and minions was something I really loved as well. They also added some really cool minion rules into the game, one of which is called overkill. So when a player attacks a minion, if they kill the first one and have more damage, they can hit the next one and maybe a third. But they also added a neat swarming feature where if there's enough minions, they get better hits all around and can attack and hurt players a lot easier. Even though they're smaller and do less damage, the chance of them actually hitting every time is really cool. So be very wary, players. So far, my only real disappointment with the book is they didn't give us a lot of dragons. I was really hoping for, like hosts of dragons. But I forgive them because they gave us uber nasty solo dragons. I mean, these things are amazingly nasty, and they're really cool too, with awesome art. Each one has its own art. They're like the demigods of dragons, and each one has a name too. That's how you know they're really nasty, because you just don't name the feeble monsters in the book, but you name the ones that are the boss monsters, the kings and the queens. There's a slew in this book. Me so happy, I don't know why. The book also has a section on, what are they called? Environments. This is like a place, biomes, if you will, where they've fleshed out the region, to kind of, it's a generalization, but it also has creatures in it that are not in the rest of the book. So if it's a swamp, they've got like a swamp creature that hasn't been listed in the book yet. But not only that, you have this environment and they've got maps and pictures. The cool thing is they have also had a link added to their webpage where you can download these maps to use in your campaigns. You don't have to figure out how to copy it from the book or anything. They've provided it as part of their service. They also have really cool adventuring groups, if you will, or just groups of monsters that are designed to be together. They're all like hero types, but they're anti. So they're bad guys. And they come in all levels, which is really neat. So there's like a 3rd level one, and they go all the way up, I think, to like 15th level or something like that. And then these groups of usually 4 to 5 people, maybe more, also have off-turn abilities, kind of like legendary actions in the regular books. They have their own villain actions in this book, and then as long as certain things happen, they can take these actions out of their turn, which makes them even harder to deal with for a regular party. I don't mean to make things sound like I'm wanting to wholesale take out adventurers, but I like throwing a challenge. I like it when things are challenging, and it's cool when they're challenging because it's designed that way. I mean, sure, as Dungeon Masters, we can do it ourselves, but the book does it for you. It's really cool. Lots of monsters get villain action, so it adds even more characteristics to a lot of the solo monsters. So it's not just like in the Dungeon Master's Guide, mostly dragons and some of the higher level demons have it. Now a lot of things have it. Some are kind of minor, and others are pretty nice. They're pretty powerful things. Some monsters have power sources in the game, like demons have souls. They start with a certain number of them and they can burn them off to use them for special powers, but they can collect more and get even more powerful. There's another creature called It's called a Bone Stalker. Sorry, I have some notes. The Bone Stalker collects skulls and uses skulls as its power source. There's also the reintroduction of psionics. Old school psionics. Yep, my old friend. Magic, but with your mind. Can't be countered by normal means. Nope, you have to have psionics to do it. There's also a ton more in this book, but if I keep going on about it, you're never going to buy it, because you're going to be like, I know everything, Ed told me it all, and we've watched some of the other shows, and people have said some things. So, go buy this book. I 100% think you will really like it. To sum it up, the title, Flea Mortals, is very appropriate. It really gives you some good, juicy monsters with a lot of content inside that book, plus some links to digital content from the book. On top of that, link below where you can go buy it. They also have a trial version. You can see some of the monsters that you can already use and get some of the rules, because they do have a lot of rule sets in the beginning to lay out how some of the monsters work and how they use their powers. You get the idea. It's how you add them into play into your D&D campaigns. To just make the point, Christmas is kind of around the corner, and you might want to consider this as a nice gift to the DM you love in your life. Thus ends the review part of the video. I'm now going to go through the book and kind of have some fun looking at some of the creatures. It's kind of random. I have a few creatures picked out. I'm going to look at some of the other ones, and I'm just kind of do some off-the-cuff role-playing ideas of how you might want to present them, characteristics and stuff like that. So first up here, we'll just start at the beginning here. The Anguilotl. It's kind of like a little frog race. They
I see them like talking like this, maybe, or more like this, perhaps. It just depends when you're having communication with them.
if you can talk to them. They have their own language. They don't seem to speak common by default. Otherwise, maybe you make just little froggy type sounds of sorts, like I don't know, something kind of small, cute. I don't know. They look cute. You'll see the pictures. Not only do I do voices for creatures that talk, as you heard, I was kind of making it sound a little froggish there. I also like to do some of the weird sounds that other creatures make, like the basilisk. I really love the imagery of the basilisk in this. So I was thinking something like a... No, the tail comes up, getting to attack. So, basilisk idea there. Next, we'll jump to some of the other fun ones here. The devils. Some of these devils, I mean, the art is amazing, but they just give a certain vibe and kind of a fun feeling. So, like the devil notary. Yes, the devil notary. There is a political whole standing to these things. I was thinking something kind of like just sign here and note the eyes. Yes, there you go. And just prick your finger and place it firmly on the page to finalize our agreement. Yes, very good. Let's see. Then we have the devil adjudicator. Adjudicator. Sorry, devil adjudicator. By the way, it's really cool. In the book, a lot of these names and things have phonetic spellings, and you can click on some of them and they'll play somebody actually speaking them so you can hear them. So you're not like me struggling with what actually is adjudicator. And that's just a normal word. This is my everyday life, folks. Anyway, let's see here. Let me just kind of give him a kind of a voice. I'm thinking something, I don't know. I can go a couple of ways. Like, well, very good. I see we have an agreement here. The contract looks fine. There's the jurist. He looks more like an attorney, like walking around. I believe the court now will hear the plaintiff's plea, or just his screams of torture as we try to finalize this agreement. Okay, so I remember I mentioned these dragons. One of them just, I love the art on this dragon. It looks like it's a white dragon, but it looks like he's constantly covered in shales of just ice, and it just breaks off at every movement. So I can just imagine him walking around and just hearing the crackling and snapping and all this, the ice chips just raining on the ground all the time. The art is stunning. His name is Vinox. I hope I'm getting that right, guys. I apologize. Anyway, I just see this thing as this big, massive, incredible beast. All of them do look that way, but just like, I don't know. You just kind of give him a big, boomy voice, you know, coming across like, "You have disturbed me in my slumber. You will feel my power, and the frost will cover your bodies." Like that. Okay, so this is the name, the dragon's name. Durazavanox. That's what's cool about this book, with these neat little audio pieces you can play to hear the name.
Durazavanox.
See? Ogres, I mean, you know. Ogres! We're ogres! I'm gonna smash you all! Stomp you into the ground! Oh, pitiful! Little human! Oh, you're not human. I don't like the taste of dragonborns. What is Overminds? Which on the cover of the book, you see the big nasty one on there that, you know, flee mortals. So, you know, again, Overminds, or, you know, we've heard of beholders before, you know, the eye tyrant type creatures, but in here it's Overminds. They look really cool. You know, I, again, usually very commanding voices, very bossy, very nasty. You will bow before me. Bring me treasure to please me otherwise. Yes! I will destroy you all for invading my home, ruining my plots. There are plotters, you know. Next, we have the hags. There's some really very well done art here again. A lot of fun, but one of them in particular I just liked. She looks like she's pulling essence out of a dead calf or goat. I'm not sure what it is, hanging on a spit. I just see her kind of like laughing, and she's giddy and excited for what she's done, and she's yes, 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 my spell is almost complete. Kind of witchy, you know, that type of thing. Next, I got the harpy. I mean, harpies are harpies. They do speak common or whatever, but I kind of, you know, play them a little bird brainy or whatever, I would think. It's like, food! Aha! Your food! Listen to our sweet songs, little morsel. Food! Sorry. I can't sing, so I'm not even going to try. Another beast-like creature is the shield scale dragonline. I just see this creature just like kind of some beast sounds, you know, kind of roars and snorts, that type of thing. In a recent campaign, or a short one, I used the Bone Stalker as a main end villain for my party, and it was actually a really fun battle. But I made him sound a bit whiny and stuff. I used him a little bit differently as a characteristic, but he used to talk like this. Oh, poor little things, lost, so lost. Even I can't help you find your way, but I can also feast on you. So, you know, kind of had fun with that and made him seem like psychotic and just not just evil looking, but just gross and weird. He said all sorts of things I can't repeat here. Speaking of art, I did draw one art piece for this. I know this is not my book, but I wanted to contribute something to those of you out there who might want to use it. I was watching another review, I believe it was on Ages of Anor, and they did mention this as well. There is a monster in there called a Marsh Hydra, and it does not have a picture. And so I drew a picture of what I believe might look like. I hope you guys like it. Otherwise, you know, I did it anyway because it was a lot of fun to draw. So those are just a few of the ones I wanted to touch upon. There's a whole lot in this book. I'm going to skip over the humans and the orcs and other things. Most of them are all very common to other, you know, role-playing sessions. I just wanted to go some of the funner ones that I saw in here. Plus, like I said, the art was very evocative in the imagination. It was a lot of fun. Thanks again for watching this episode of NPCs for Hire. I'm Ed the Guildmaster, here trying to give your games a little bit more character, and I hope this review was helpful to you. If not, I hope you still give me a like, subscribe, comment down below, share the video, because I'm a shill for my channel and I'm doing anything I can to grow it, even if I'm failing at it. So thanks again for watching. Tune in next time when I hopefully will do another actual NPC. Who knows if we do more of these or not. We'll see. Thanks.